at the foundation are able to showcase local companies and their employees, local businesses, small businesses, all sizes, as well as our local municipal governments. Because without your support, we wouldn't be able to function independently from Covenant Foundation as we do right now. Only 6 of the 27 Covenant Health hospitals in Alberta run with affiliate foundations, and we take great pride in being able to do that here in Bonnyville. So thank you for being a part of that great success. I'd also like to share with you before I go into the New Year opportunity package some of the results that came from our most successful gala event ever last year in 2023. So every June, our local hospital management teams bring the foundation their wish list of requests for upgrades and funding to either approve or to work on fundraising for. And last year, we were given requests totaling $287,000, and our board was able to approve every request this year on that list, thanks to the resounding success of our gala and the support that came from our community. Some of the enhancements that were especially exciting for us to fund and maybe more relatable to some of our members were sleep chairs for our maternity ward. These are comfortable chairs that convert into beds so that dads can sleep while moms are either in labor or right after baby is born. Another area of quality that all hospitals strive to improve is the quality of the often dreaded hospital food. And this year we have funded the purchase of state-of-the-art food service carts that feature dual temperatures to keep hot food hot and cold food cold during service times to contribute to more pleasant meals for inpatients and long-term care residents. These high-tech carts are only in one other hospital in Alberta right now, and this will create a noticeable impact on the comfort of patients. And we're really happy that we were able to fund these. So these are just a few to mention, just to get our conversation started. So on to our upcoming event, which is what I'm here to talk about. Looking at the package that I sent in advance, welcome to flight number 24 around the world. This is the Bonnyville Health Foundation 24th Annual Hospital Gala. This year we're taking the community on a multicultural tour with our Golden Age theme of first-class world travel. Our focus will be on taking a journey through enriching cultural entertainment and cuisine from around the globe, served in 7 courses. 5 of those courses will be served to your table. And as each course is served to our guests, through the power of technology this year, we will transform the room visually to arrive in a new destination, including Greece, Italy, and Thailand, just to hint at a few, all while inspiring our community to give generously to our cause. So let's talk about the impact that being a titled sponsor with our gala has. As a reminder, since my last visit with you last year, the 5 areas of focus that we raise funds for include our hospital's area of greatest need, local mental health initiatives, long-term care for seniors, palliative care, and funding for our Bonnyville Community Cancer Clinic. When we spend 10 months working out the details and executing the plans for an event this size, we're very strategic and carefully plan out how we can take your sponsorship and invest it into an event in a way that will produce extreme results for our hospital. We are not simply looking to pay the bills to run the event. It's much, much bigger than that. So you'll see that we have added some large partners this year called World Tour and Road Trip. If we move to the page with the sponsor opportunities, our World Tour partner has already been picked up by the town of Bonnyville, and we're thrilled to welcome them for the first time ever as our presenting sponsor for the gala this year. Our Road Trip sponsor is a new sponsorship level that we hope to introduce this year, but like all great ideas, we won't be able to see it come to fruition without local support. But this Road Trip partner is a great example of the investment that I'm talking about. If we are able to secure 2 sponsors at this $20,000 level at our 2024 gala, what this sponsorship will do for us is it will allow us to unveil, along with these 2 sponsors beside us on April 13th, a brand new fundraising initiative. This would be the unveiling of a brand new vehicle that we will begin a raffle campaign for the night of the gala, and it will continue into June. Just as a side note, most hospital foundations run car raffles on a regular basis, mostly an annual basis. We've never been able to have a raffle this size, and the town of Bonnyville hasn't had a raffle like this in over 10 years. This partnership is a true community investment because when we have a prize this value, we're eligible to sell raffle tickets with a return of 5 times the prize value. So this turns this $40,000 investment with 2 sponsors into a possible $200,000 for our hospital. The road trip level is a presenting sponsorship for our next big event, and we will announce it along with your team in person at the gala if you choose to join us at this level. Now, if moving to a $20,000 investment isn't in the cards this year for the MD to invest, we would move along to the travel agent sponsor level. That's a newly developed partner level as well. And at this level, we'll have a pre-recorded video with members of your team sharing with the community the commitment they have to local healthcare while spotlighting one of our 5 umbrella areas of funding focus. And your entire $15,000 investment would be put 100% to use for new upgraded equipment at the hospital. Moving along to our first class ticket partner level, here is where we introduce another colorful initiative that we know Bonnyville is going to love, and I had a handout passed around about this. So last year, our Countdown to Christmas raffle boasted a grand prize of a trip for 2 to Ireland, and the Lakeland community really went crazy for tickets for that. Similarly, last year at our 2023 gala that you attended with us, we introduced a flash sale of lollipops to the crowd, and we raised $10,000 in 7 minutes as the crowd excitedly took the chance to win a cash prize. So this year we're merging those 2 ideas by kicking off a raffle event in the beginning of March that will feature 10 grand prize vacation packages. We've already secured trips to Greece, Thailand, Disney, and some American hotspots like New York and New Orleans, as well as some of our own countries such as Montreal and a Via Rail package through the Rocky Mountains. With prizes valued at $60,000, we are able to sell raffle tickets to the tune of $250,000 in fundraising raffle sales. And we will draw them all along with our sponsors, live streamed from our gala on the evening of April 13th. And I'm pleased to share with you, as you can see on that handout, that this portion of the event has now been fully sponsored, as you can see all the sponsor names with those trips. As the first class ticket partner level, we still have in-house gala titles available if you choose this level. So all of these big, exciting plans are what we hope will take us down a brand new road of raising over $500,000 for the hospital this year. We're confident that our community of supporters already sees the MD of Bonnyville as a partner and a supporter of local healthcare. Our gala is really just the place that we can put that partnership on the pedestal that it deserves and have a spotlight of recognition on your support. And it means so much to our business partners in our community to see that support from our local government that night. I've left this as an open-ended request for your review and consideration, and I'd be thrilled if you would consider approving the road trip level sponsorship this year. But we hope that in addition to joining us at the gala on April 13th, that we can proudly display your name as a sponsor at any level. So we look forward to seeing you there at flight number 24, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, and excuse me for coughing here so many times. Any questions from council here? Yeah.
Sorry, you listed some of the stuff you bought in previous years, and did you list all the things you want to buy this year?
So we get that wish list in June. So right now, the hospital is compiling their list now. There's a bit of a process with Covenant Health. So they send it to Covenant Health first to see what they can take from their operating budgets, and then whatever they can't, then they funnel down and bring to the foundation for approval to fund. I do know some of the things in the pipeline for this year. We do have an emergency department renovation that is coming very soon, and the foundation is going to be requested to spearhead the development of a mental health room in the emergency department, and I know that we're going to be really excited to fundraise for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a question for myself. Do you have all the, like, you have trips and stuff and to auction off at the gala usually? Are you still doing that?
Yes.
Are you still taking, like, if someone asks me, can I give a trip to you guys' foundation? Can I let them know and give them your name? Or
Yes,
do you have all that
absolutely. No.
put in stone already?
We are now working on the auction agenda, so yeah, we still have time for that for sure.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Good. Do you have a card with you today, or?
I don't think I have one, but my number is all over that package that
Okay,
you have.
very good, very good. Thank you. Any other question?
One more, the raffle tickets, are they, my wife's always interested, but we never seem to buy any because we're not in Bonnyville and they're sold right away. So who's selling them and when?
Oh, that's a good question. So we're going to be setting up various stations at grocery stores, and we're going to have some of the sponsors who have sponsored these trips are going to take them to their businesses. So when we start the advertising, we'll put where the tickets are available. I'm sure the Chamber of Commerce will help us too. They're usually a good help to us, having a location.
She's going like this right now.
She is not.
Well, thank you for your presentation today.
Thank you very
have a
much.
great rest of the day.
Thank you.
All right, the lady that was shaking her head like this is up next. Oh, yeah, we should do a motion before we get you up there. I'm looking for a motion to take this as information. I think. Number one, yeah.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Reeve. Number
Okay.
one.
Thank you, Mr. Kraviak, for making a motion on behalf of council that council accepts presentation by Bonnyville Health Foundation on the 24th Annual Bonnyville Hospital Gala as information, and furthermore directs administration to bring their request for funding support for the event to a future meeting of council for consideration. Any discussion on this motion, gentlemen? Okay, I'll call for the vote then. And thank you, Mike, for reminding me of that. That's carried, thank you. And again, I apologize to you as
No
well
problem.
for holding you up. So
No.
go ahead. Good morning. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thank you guys so much for having me. I always love following a delegation with such community partners. The Chamber might not be like the Health Foundation in that regards, but we do really pride ourselves on economic development and really being a community partner with our programs and things that we're doing. This year, there's some really exciting things for the Chamber upcoming. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of information and then as well discuss a bit of a sponsorship opportunity that we have for you guys. This coming year, we are actually going to be partnering with the Cold Lake Chamber on several events, and for those I will come back to speak to you about them, but I just wanted to give you a little heads up. One of the most successful and sought after events that we do, of course, is the Oil and Gas Show. And more specifically within the Oil and Gas Show is what we formerly called the Oilman's Room. We've now renamed it to Fast Lane Connections. And what that is, it's an opportunity for local businesses and contractors to sit down with larger businesses such as municipalities or Imperial Oil or Cenovus and sit with their procurement people to shake their hand, make a contact, and say, hey, what jobs are coming up? A lot of businesses, they love that. They register for our show to come in and sit down to be able to make that contact, and deals and contracts have come out of that. This year, we're really proud to announce an event in partnership with the Cold Lake Chamber, Fast Lane Connections, that we are going to be doing on a bigger scale that's not just oil field specific. And we heard that. I heard it specifically, as did your economic development, Scott Kovach, that smaller businesses and contracting businesses wanted that. How do we get into this? How do we make this larger? And so you'll be hearing a lot more from us about that. We know that there is absolutely no substitute when making connections for a handshake and a smile. And so we want to be able to give that opportunity to our local vendors. We want to keep contracts local, we want to keep our businesses local, and we want to keep them busy. So that is one thing that's upcoming. And there are many more things that you will hear back. We're really excited as the Chamber. We're planning a new strategic direction this month for 2024 and 2025. So we're really happy about what's to come. In the meantime, there's a project that's been a little bit of a labor of love for me since the spring. Some information was brought to my attention that Bonnyville and Cold Lake and a lot of communities in the Lakeland region were ranking very high on Canada's Crime Severity Index. So from 2021 to 2022, Bonnyville moved, I believe, from 4th place to 1st place. And that is really difficult. So there's been just a rising tide in nonviolent crime that threatens our rural economies and threatens our business development as well. So we've seen, like you say, in 2022 for Alberta, places Bonnyville at the top for nonviolent crimes, followed by St. Paul, High Level, Wetaskiwin, Elk Point, High Prairie, and Cold Lake, which is ranked 7th. Completing the top 10 are Lac La Biche and Peace River. On a national level, St. Paul and Bonnyville are ranked 9th and 11th in Canada, far surpassing cities like Winnipeg and Vancouver. These are not statistics that we want to be known for as a community or as a region, and therefore we're looking for various solutions. I know, just as do you, that there's a lot of social and economic factors to this that really is seeing the increase in our violent crime or our nonviolent crime. But it has deeply affected our communities that were recently considered high-trust societies that were known for our safety. We went from not being able to lock our doors to not being able to leave our car unlocked for a matter of minutes without it being stolen right in broad daylight. So small businesses in these areas are now under immense pressure. They are increasingly unable to report thefts or afford insurance premiums and deductibles. It's gotten that bad now that they can't even go to their insurance. And this is what I'm hearing from our businesses. So I have sent this to you, Reeve Klinsky, and I hope to share with council, and I have not yet sent it to Josh. I forgot before Christmas, but I will send this along so that you guys can go over this in a little more detail. But really what I'm asking for today is I have sent a proposal in partnership with Scott Sears' office to Minister MacGyver and others at the provincial government level advocating for an emergency grant. I know that the solutions to this problem we can't form solutions overnight. We just can't. It's a huge aspect. It's a huge problem. However, what we can do is try and look for some emergency solutions. Just like when you go into an emergency room, what do they do first? They triage you. They triage the situation and they put a Band-Aid on you until you're able to see a doctor. And right now we are in an emergency situation. And so that is what I'm really trying to do, is to request emergency assistance. And we've done different things to try and look at the solutions long term. For example, the Bonnyville Chamber co-sponsored a policy on the impacts of homelessness on business, and that was passed at our former Alberta Chamber AGM. So that policy has gone to the provincial government because it is a provincial accountability. But the provinces tend to look at the urban centers and their funding in the urban centers, while us rural municipalities are just not getting that same level of funding. So I have requested an emergency grant program that would provide crucial short-term support for businesses. What we're looking to do essentially in a nutshell as a high level is increase security patrols and subsidize some insurance premiums and deductibles, as well as subsidize and make security systems a little more applicable or a little more easier to access for local businesses. Our businesses are coming out of a pandemic. Right now, the deadline is looming for CEBA loan repayments. So to have extra payments, the pressure that it's putting on our businesses is immense. And overwhelmingly, this is the #1 issue that our members are telling us. More than CEBA loan repayments, more than anything, it is the increase in crime locally. So what I would like from you as our municipality is to send a letter of support and I will send all the contacts and all the information, but to send a letter of support saying that you support this program and you support this proposal. I already have the support from MLA Sear, as well as his office, and he has already sent his letter of support stating that this is also important for him and the region. And then you don't need the details of the grant. I will send that along. I'm just trying to get you the highlighted information here. So basically, it's just much needed assistance that will help, and the chamber, of course, would come on as a partner to help facilitate that, to be that one point of contact for our region. Any questions on that before I move forward? It's a big one.
Yeah, go ahead, Councillor
Yeah,
Swain.
you said a lot, and, you know,
I did.
it's important that you're, you know, that you're doing something, and hope, you know, the MD can help do something too. Is the money, though, to be more to hire sort of private security or something, or is it, because I know businesses that are not in existence now because they couldn't afford, or it's not they couldn't afford the insurance, they could not get insurance, right?
Yes, yes. So it would be more for private security, and I have spoke with our local RCMP detachment about this as well. I mean, they are overwhelmed as well, and there's a lot of work. But this would be more for private security. They would actually go check the doors, open the doors. So we'd be providing employment or extra funding for a local company that would then come in and do it. They would have 2 people on off hours. Constantly year-round for whatever businesses. I would like to see 40 businesses be registered for this kind of program that would then be facilitated through us at the chamber level. And many of the businesses are MD businesses, Town of Bonnyville businesses. But regardless, Bonnyville is listed as kind of a whole, and what we've been seeing has been well, it's weighing heavy on my heart because, you know, since we moved downtown, we've seen it as well. We've seen a lot of the issues, and we saw it before. I remember when I sent a trip to China, people parked their cars at the Shaw House at Vezo Beach, and all but one of the vehicles that were parked there were broken into. Either had their gas tanks cut or whatever. So it's everywhere. And we're seeing to the point that certain businesses are locking their doors. You have to knock to be able to come in or call to get in, gain access. So it's not as free and it's not as open as we used to be. And I know people are really feeling the impact of that.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
On that one. So that being said, the Chamber is a nonprofit organization, as you know. And so the work that we do to help impact our community, help increase our economic development, which is really the soul and heart and soul of what we do. But we are a community organization first and foremost. I am coming to you with the opportunity to do a wall sponsorship, tree wall sponsorship. So essentially in our new building, we do have this beautiful wood wall. This is the actual wall, but what's on it right here is just a mock-up, and you can kind of see what we're looking to do. So we've got different levels of sponsorship, one being root level, branch level, and leaf level. And this is helping us celebrate 75 years. In 2023, I'm a little bit behind the ball because we've had absolutely busy, crazy time. But in 2023, the Bonnyville Chamber celebrated 75 years in advocating for businesses in the MD of Bonnyville and the town of Bonnyville. And so for that, we are very, very proud. And we want to help recognize our sponsors as well as our members. So for the root level sponsorship, it's in the amount of $7,500, and you will be recognized as a root level sponsor there on the bottom to show that your support. What's included with that is a 5-year minimum recognition on our wall in our office, chamber website recognition, social media recognition, a Chamber's Enhanced Marketing Bundle, but as well, this includes your platinum membership. Most often, you guys pay between $2,000 and $2,500, $2,000 and $2,500 for your platinum membership, which includes tickets to our business awards and various other promotions. But this amount would include that membership amount, which of course is a fee for service. But on top of it, we've combined it with the root level sponsor to really show our corporate members and highlight them and what they do. So the funds for this really allows us, as a nonprofit, we have to work to exist. And that's just the nuts and bolts of it. But a lot of that time in fundraising and planning events, we want to make sure that our chamber is not just about parties and parades. I want a chamber that is about developing and building our community and building our business community. And one way that we do that is to have time for advocacy. And this crime prevention proposal is a direct example of the advocacy that we work on. This was a labor of love. It took me all summer, but we've worked on it together. We've developed partners, and I know that that is the #1 issue to our businesses. In order to have the time to do that, we need to make sure that we have somebody, myself, solely dedicated to being able to advocate for our businesses. So that is just one small example of the advocacy that we do on top of everything else we do with the Alberta Chambers of Commerce and partnerships with our other local chambers. So that would be a sponsorship for that. It would include extra recognition, and you would be shown as celebrating your local Chamber of Commerce, helping us celebrate the 75 years, and to continue to focus on the important work that we do on municipal, provincial, and federal levels.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? All right, well, thank you for your presentation today.
Thank you.
Have a great Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Just looking for a motion.
Yeah,
Mr. Reed, oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask though, do you need kind of 2 motions here, or there's 2 separate, totally separate items, but take it all for information, I guess, and bring it back for decision, I guess. Just curious if you think we need 2 or 1.
I think 1 is good.
Okay.
Who would like to make the motion?
I'll make the motion.
All right, thank you, Deputy Reeve Crick, for making a motion on behalf of council. The council accepts the presentation by the Bonneville and District Chamber of Commerce on their current advocacy effort as information, and furthermore directs administration to bring their request for funding for the annual membership of 75-year sponsorship to a future meeting of council for consideration. I'll call for the vote.
Is that missing the request for the letter to the minister that we're supposed to support too? Seems like it doesn't mention that at all, does it?
No,
Should
it
it?
doesn't.
That's why I said there's 2 separate things there, but if we can just add it, I guess, the request for the MD to raise a support letter for,
Through the chair to council, we could certainly add it, because there's no funding associated with the letter of support. We could also approve writing that letter of support administratively. We weren't aware of that request until she made it at the meeting,
I
so.
think we should add it, or at least don't ignore it.
I'm okay adding it to the motion.
Okay. Do we need a motion to add, or that's fine? I don't think so.
I guess it would be a motion to amend to add the request for letter of support.
Okay. Councillor Fidel, you would like to make that?
No, I just have a question in regards to the letter of support. I mean, that request should have gone to the Alberta Chamber of Council, not right from the member itself. It's because it's going to add more, I guess, substance to their to the request. We're not the only, I guess, municipality that is suffering with crime, so I think that should have gone up, but I'm not really in favor of the letter.
Okay. Al, do you have any comments on this?
Thank you, Mr. Reeve, members of the council. I think the letters of support are typically a good thing, particularly if there's no money attached. The concerns that I would raise would be around if the grant was successful in achieving the approximately $5 million, what does that do to our other grant programs that would impact the MD as well, the town of Bonnyville, City of Cold Lake, Village of Glendon, et cetera? That money doesn't come out of a vacuum. And typically when money for one grant is approved, that means that there's overexposure in another grant, and the other grants, I have no idea if the province would even be considering it, but that would be my only concern is, will that dilute the available money that the province has in terms of providing money to municipalities, and where would that money come from? Other than that, that's really my only question. Other than that, I think a letter of support, it is what it is if there's no money attached to it.
Well, I definitely want to read what's written there because, you know, what are we supporting? Like what, like you can say whatever you want, but you need to read the whole thing before you, because there's quite a package to read.
Yeah, I guess my intent in making the motion to add it wasn't to approve writing a letter of support, it was just to bring it back, and then we'll make the decision so that we have time to read. Yes, I'm in 100% agreement with Reeve on that.
Okay, nobody has a problem with us bringing it back to look at, correct? Okay, then I need a motion to amend the motion, is that correct? Working on one right now?
We just need everyone to vote and approve the motion to amend the main motion.
Okay, but does somebody need a motion to make?
Someone needs to make that motion.
Who'd like to make that motion? Okay, thank you, Councillor Fidea, for making a motion to amend the motion. No? I said that wrong?
Nope, that's fine, but we will not be, this one won't go in the system. Motions to amend are not tracked in the minutes.
Okay.
So you guys can just vote on that manually and.
Okay,
pull up
all
the
those in
main motion
favor?
accordingly.
Carried? Okay, we'll wait for them to write that up then. While we wait, Dana's going to sing a song. I got a bit of a, I'm coughing. Here we go. Moved by Deputy Reeve Crick that the council accepts the presentation by the Bonnyville and District Chamber of Commerce on their current advocacy efforts as information, and furthermore directs administration to bring their requests for a letter of support as well as funding for an annual membership and 75-year sponsorship to a future meeting of council for consideration. Any other discussion on this motion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you. I think that's with 8.1 is with Mr. He's here.
9.22 is myself.
Very good. So let's go to 8.1 subdivision application.
Good morning, gentlemen. I
Morning.
will be quick so you can get on to the next round of everything. Subdivision application 2023-S-016 for LaRue's. Administration has received and is presenting subdivision application 2023-S-016 for council consideration, wherein the applicant is proposing to consolidate an existing 9.98 acre parcel into Northeast 13, 61-1 west of the 4th Meridian, and furthermore subdivide 12 acres from the same agricultural quarter section as shown on the map attached as Appendix A. And there we go. Notification of the proposed subdivision was mailed to referral agencies and adjacent landowners with a deadline of December 6th, 2023 to submit concerns to be considered at the January 9th, 2024 council meeting. No concerns have been received regarding this application. The application meets all conditions of Municipal Government Act, subdivision and development regulations, and the Lower Athabasca Regional Plan, Municipal Development Plan, and the Land Use Bylaw. Therefore, we recommend approval as per conditions. Number 1, legal and physical access to proposed parcels and remnant. 2, real property report. 3, septic compliance. Number 4, consolidation of CFT 152-278-758 prior to registration of the new proposed lot and taxes to be paid in full. Administration recommended action is that council approve subdivision application number 2023-S-016 to consolidate an existing 9.98 acre parcel into Northeast 13, 61-1 west of the 4th Meridian, and furthermore subdivide one 12-acre parcel from the same agricultural quarter section for Tracy Zwiefel, Gary, and Travis LaRue.
Okay, thank you for that. Yes, Councillor Fadеев?
So that's just a realignment with an extra 2 acres on that?
That is correct.
Sounds good. Thank you. I'll make the motion to approve that. Option number 1, please.
Okay, thank you. How do you pronounce that last name of Tracy's again?
Tracy Zwiefel,
Zfel?
yep, and
Did I say
Gary
that?
and Travis LaRue.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Councillor Fadеев, for making a motion on behalf of council that council approves subdivision application number 2023-S-1, -016 to consolidate existing 9.98 acre parcel into Northeast 1361-1 west of the 4th Meridian. Furthermore, subdivide one 12-acre parcel from the same agricultural quarter section for Tracy Zwiefel and Gary and Travis LaRue. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, seeing none, I'll call for the vote. That's carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, on to 9.2.1. Morning.
Good morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right. So bylaw number LU 578 is to consider the rezoning of Northeast 3061-5 west of the 4th Meridian and Northwest 3061-5 west of the 4th Meridian, located within the Bonnyville Regional Airport area there. The rezoning is to change the district from agricultural district to direct control district number 5, or the municipal district of Bonnyville Regional Airport, direct control. So this district was created specifically for the airport area. The MD of Bonnyville is proposing the rezoning of the subject parcel, and the current area of Northwest 3061-5 is approximately 47.58 acres, and the current area of Northeast 3061-5 is approximately 30.1 acres. So the rezoning aligns and complies with the municipal development plan. The subject parcel is located within the Highway 28 and Highway 41 area structure plan area, and the proposed rezoning aligns with the ASP in protecting the Bonnyville Regional Airport from incompatible land uses and developments. The land use bylaw notes that the intended purpose of the direct control district is to provide site-specific development controls that will provide opportunity for the continuing aviation operations of the Bonnyville Regional Airport, and any development must be directly related to the aviation industry. Based upon the available permitted uses under the direct control district, it is expected that there would be little to no impact upon adjacent landowners. In terms of comments, no comments were received from adjacent landowners, and no concerns were raised from external referrals. Should this receive first reading, a public hearing is proposed for February 13th, 2024. And with that, if it is recommended that first reading be given, and if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them at this point.
Okay, thank you. Just looking for a motion for first reading. Yeah, Councillor Fadеев?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Fadеев, for making a motion on behalf of council that bylaw number LU 578 being a bylaw of the municipal district of Bonnyville number 87 to amend bylaw number 1667 land use bylaw be given first reading. Any discussion, gentlemen? Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. That's carried, thank you. On to 9.2.2.
Good morning.
Morning.
So administration received an application from a landowner who recently purchased a lot at Vezo Beach in the summer of 2023 to close, cancel, sell, and consolidate a portion of the adjacent government road allowance, Range Road 463, east of Plan 132, 2699, Block 1, Lot 1, and south of Moose Lake, with an approximate area of 5,800 square feet, as depicted in the map on Appendix A. The Municipal Government Act grants the municipality the ability to request the closure of a road. A landowner interested in requesting a road closure must contact their municipal office to make the request to initiate the closure process. The government road allowance proposed for closure currently provides a buffer between the intensive recreation zoning of the md.bonnyville Vezo Beach Campground and the country residential zoning within the southeast of 9, 61 of 6. It also contains a portion of the municipal Moose Lake Trail system, which does require adequate space adjacent to the trail surface for snow removal and removal of any other debris. The existing road allowance also allows for public, non-lakefront owners and Vezo Beach MD Park users access to Moose Lake. It provides a hand-launching location for non-motorized watercraft such as canoes, kayaks, and paddleboards. Additionally, the access point to Moose Lake has the capacity to be a further developed lake access point should the municipality choose to do so in the future. The portion of government road allowance requested to be closed and sold has an estimated fair market value of $205,000 as per the MD Property Assessment Department report we received on December 12th of 2023. As the area proposed for closure, sale, and consolidation is currently utilized for various purposes, including acting as a buffer between residential and recreational areas, providing access to the lake for non-waterfront residences, and serving as a space adjacent to the existing trail for maintenance of the trail system. Our recommendation is for council to direct administration not to proceed with the application to close, cancel, sell, and consolidate the portion of the government road allowance.
Thank you. And sorry I didn't say good morning and Happy New Year.
That's okay.
No, I'm slipping. Darcy?
I'm just curious, are you able to, like, just sell a piece of MD land without it going out to, like, public offering, or?
So the policy that we passed this year, we are able to sell it to an adjacent property at fair market value, or we are allowed to put it up for sale as auction as well.
Yes, Councillor Cravier.
Thank you. So this property, the area of that piece of land is only like a portion of an acre, right?
Correct, yes.
And it's worth 205,000?
Correct.
And also he mentions in his letter, this person, that people are walking through his place and stuff like that. There's concern, he has concerns with the public?
Correct. Well, it is a road allowance, so people would be allowed to use it to access the lake. They would be allowed to go straight down there to use it as access to the lake.
So why is this trail going through those lots? At the far end there I can see lot number 4 and lot number 3. The trail goes where? Is that going along the road?
So the trail system is, as you can see up there, that part on the right that is outlined in blue, that's the part that is being requested to close. So the trail system is just to the right of that. You see where it says the walking trail? So this is kind of a buffer between the walking trail and then the actual registered lot to the left in the red.
Oh,
So-
did you get answered there?
No, I don't understand that.
Just let her answer first before.
Yeah. So this is the applicant that proposed, this is their lot.
Yes.
This is what they're looking to close and purchase. This is the trail system that comes like this. That's the walking trail.
Basically he wants to purchase that little corner there?
He wants to purchase
The
this.
blue.
This purchase here, that is now currently part of the road allowance.
And that's only 0.13 of an acre?
It is 580 square feet, or 5,800 square feet. Yeah.
You're good, Mike? Councillor Fidel?
Yeah, thanks. So I think, from what I remember, I think that used to be an old boat launch there once upon a time. So is anybody using that right now, or is the neighbor requesting to purchase using it right now?
If you could scroll down, there's another photo. It is just a grassy area. Is there a photo going the other direction? There. So it's just an area that people could, right now, walk down to take their kayak or their paddleboard or something like that to access the lake, especially the backlot owners just on the other side of the walking trail.
So whose dock is that?
I'm unaware whose dock that is.
Okay.
Mr. Reeve?
You're done, Councillor Phelan? Okay, Councillor
Yeah,
Swager?
I don't think we have a lot of access around Moose Lake, and I think it's up to council to kind of protect those access and those pathways to the lake. So I'd hate to see us sell it.
You're good? Yeah, just a comment? Go ahead.
Yeah, just a comment. I did go out and have a look at this place here. And the walking trail, like you can see there, it turns into the Vesu Beach Park. So there is the boat launch and the lake access in the Vesu Beach Park there. There is? Yeah.
Well,
'cause
it's right
this is-
beside Vezo Beach, right?
If you look at the
So-
picture on the screen there, it's Vesu Beach that's to the left there right now.
Yeah, so there's the full boat launch. That's where you would launch like a large boat that you would need to back into the water, that type of thing.
Can you take over?
Okay.
Just one more question there.
Okay, go ahead.
So, so the lot right now, is there any kind of services on there? Is there a field system in there or nothing like that? It is just a clear blank,
There is a house on the property.
correct? But
Yes.
on this, on the.
On this, no, this is a road allowance.
So the
there is
road
no
allowance, there's
services
nothing
underneath
else on
this
there?
road allowance. Correct, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, CAO?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of council. One of the things we use that for, and obviously this winter's not been a big issue, but as we do maintain snow removal on our walking trails in the wintertime, if that lot were to be sold, I'm not quite sure where the snow from that piece of the trail goes. That's one of the things we use that additionally for now, is a place to push snow to for the walking trail. Second, there is use of that in the summertime by people from the campground who have a kayak or paddleboard or a canoe, who don't want to compete with large boats at the big boat launch. So it's a fairly active position, and we certainly concur with Councillor Swigert that we have a limited number of accesses to our lake systems. A lot of the lake has been taken over by private property owners, and it's one of the reasons we are recommending maintaining this as an access point to the lake, is to allow public access to the lake. And again, so they don't have to compete with big boats at the big boat launch at Vezo Beach.
Councillor Slager?
Yeah, no, my comment would be, we don't need to sell that property. It gives access to people who are there now and use it, so, we've kind of done things like that in the past at Crane Lake. They sold lake access lots to residents, and then 30 years later, you realize, well, we shouldn't have done that because we need that. We needed that access. Anyway, I'd make the motion to go with number one, and that we don't proceed with the sale.
Since Mr. Borlo is here today, do you guys want to let him speak, or do you want to hear what he has to say, or?
Sure.
Can we need a motion for that, correct?
We do need a motion, Mr. Reeve. However, we do now have a motion on the floor from Councillor Swigert. So he would either need to withdraw his motion, or you would need to address that motion first.
Okay, would you like to withdraw that
Yeah,
motion
he's
for now?
here, so let's not let him speak, so I'll withdraw that motion.
Okay, would someone else like to make a motion since he's here to let him speak? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Deputy Reeve, Crick, for making a motion to allow the taxpayer to speak on behalf of this. On 9.2.2. Any discussion on this? No? I'll just call for a vote manually. All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay. Oh, we have it there too, so. Twice. Okay, Mr. Bordelot, come on up. Carried.
Morning.
Morning.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, thank you for making time for me this morning to speak to you with regards to our proposal to close and buy the road allowance east of Plan 1322699, Block 1, Lot 1 at Vezo Beach. My name is Marcel Bordelot. I've been born and raised and have always resided in the MD of Bonnyville. My wife Suzanne and I are the only adjacent landowners to this mentioned road allowance. And I'm meeting here with you to discuss this with you. We purchased property next to this back in June last year and plan to develop it as a retirement home. A few items I would like to mention and share with you that were not included in our application letter or the MD's administration in Appendix 1. So on the east side of this property of the road allowance, there exists as a 100-foot environmental reserve to the east side that can't house any future developments. To the west side of this road allowance, a 2.25 meter strip was sold to a previous landowner, Mr. Murray Dando, in 2013 for the price of $3,700. MD administration mentioned in Appendix 1 that this road gives access to hand launching non-motorized watercraft such as canoes, kayaks, and paddle boats. I strongly disagree with this idea because it will create a very hazardous area. Why? There is no room for offloading and unloading the kayaks, the boats, or the paddle boats. There's no parking zone in that area. There is a very narrow road coming into this subdivision, which is very busy in the summertime. And there's a curve on this road right where in front of this property lies. And there's a bike trail that is very busy coming into this property as well. To me, this is a very, very unsafe and could be a hazardous area. The MD has just expanded and renovated an MD boat launch, which is very nice. Between the MD boat launch and this property, there's 600 feet of beach that is all accessible from the MD campground, just located to the south. There's a trail going through there where they can bring their kayaks and use that beach that's 600 feet long. So to be able to access the beach, there's lots of room available. So I have a solution that I'd like to share with you on another area where we could put the non-motorized launching area. To the west side of Vezo Beach is a fenced playground. There's a large area for parking. There's room to offload and unload. And there is access to Moose Lake there as well. And I feel that's a good reason to have it there. There's no bike path, less traffic in that area. The other reason I disagree having it where next to us is there's no supervision there. There's no signs, no regulations, and there will be no washrooms. As at the other end, there are washrooms and ample parking. Excuse me. Lastly, I would like to find out the following information about this road allowance. This Vezo Beach subdivision was developed in 1932 by Mr. Henry Vezo. So obviously, that boat launch or lot that was there was designated for access to the lake. So my questions are, did he design that for his investors of that property to use access to the lot? Was it ever given or sold to the MD? The MD was formed in 1955, so that was existed already at that point. Was it maybe leased to the MD? Is there an easement on that property? And was it ever considered a road allowance? These questions, I feel, need answers before we proceed with this matter. Also, I would like to thank the two councillors that took time to meet with me and discuss our views and our concerns. So in conclusion, I suggest and request that the MD administration provide the MD councillors and myself the documentation of what all transpired from this lot or subject road allowance. And I ask the MD Council at this time to choose option 3, to give more time to retrieve this additional information so we can review it at another scheduled regular meeting. Thank you for your consideration.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I do there, Mr. Reeve. So I'm just trying to understand the drawings here. Is the stuff in blue, is that in feet and the other drawings are in meters? Is that, I'm just looking at the size of things. So that was one question. Lot 1, Block 1, Plan 132, is that your lot?
No, that is the lot in, yeah, lot 1 is mine, yes.
And then, so do you own Lot 2 also?
No, well, it's in the MD, it's called lot 1, Block 1, Lot 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But next to it says Lot 2. To the left it says Lot 2.
Yeah.
Do you own that one also?
To the left, no.
So you just own the Lot 1?
Yeah, I just own that one, yeah, in red,
And that's,
which I got all,
is that in
Sorry.
meters or is that feet? Is that 15, what is it, 14?
that's is all in feet, yeah. So the
It is
trail
in feet,
system
But the stuff in blue though, if you look at the scale, is that 36 feet in blue there?
in front, yes.
Well,
That's what's
that's like-
left of that access to that lot, because on the left, if you look,
But just look at the scale though, like 36 feet, if that's in feet, and then your lot is what, 14.6, 15,
6 meters,
17
yeah,
feet?
that's in meters.
Oh, they're meters,
sorry.
okay,
Yeah,
so they're not
sorry.
feet,
Yep,
they're mixed up?
that's in meters.
Okay, so you need you'd like that lot because you'd like to, is there a house there now?
There was an older building there which got torn down, and now there is a new cabin coming up there, yes.
And so the cabin's already there, built,
The
and
structure is up, but not
you want to
finished.
build something bigger? Is that,
Well, I need access I have a well that's 40 years old on this property, and I need a well most probably in the future, or even install a cistern for clean water. Also, I have in the back where you see septic tank, that's existing and is still being used. So I need access with a vac truck to be able to get back there, to be able to remove that.
and so right now you kind of have access, but it's
Yeah.
MD property, right?
I am using it because that's how it was kind of formed. It was designed that way. So, yeah, I am using it, and
But we're not against you doing that?
no,
That-
no, I know.
No.
It's public property, and I understand that.
Okay, well, that was my questions, thanks.
Any other questions? Yes,
Thank you, Mr. Reed, members of the council. To some of the questions, and I don't even know if we're going to be able to find some of the answers to what happened in 1930 from the original Mr. Vizot, who created the subdivision. All we know today is that it is ours it's a road allowance. And that road allowance exists, and the little jog from the 36 feet frontage to the 47 along the lake, that, if you look, that just, the biking trail or the walking trail is what took that little piece out. But it is a road allowance, and regardless of the history, how it got to be a road allowance, it is a road allowance. And there is a process and a procedure to road allowance closure. So council, as council has done many times before, if council decides to elect to go forward with this, it would come back as a road closure bylaw, which will go to public hearing and have to go to the minister for approval. So there is a fairly significant, And ministerial approval is likely to be 12 or more months for ministerial approval. But it is currently a road allowance, and how it got that way, I'm not sure is relevant, but it is a road allowance today.
Oh, I have a question, excuse me. If it is a road allowance and you need ministerial approval, why was that sliver of 2.25 acres or the meters sold back in 2013? And I'd like to see documentation of how it transpired, how the MD got to say that is a road allowance. Because it was a lake lot at one time. It was a farm, so it was part of that quarter. And it was subdivided in 32. And I think it's not a road allowance. That's my opinion. But I'd like to have documentation proving it's a road allowance.
Go ahead.
I can answer that. I'm actually looking at the survey plan right now, and that is an actual road allowance as per the standard road allowances that run every 1 mile this way and 2 miles this way. So it is an actual road allowance that has been there.
Okay.
It wasn't a road that was created during any kind of survey. It's a road allowance.
So it's a road allowance like any other road allowance, is
Yeah,
what you're saying?
yeah, and it's actually on the survey that shows.
Right. Okay. Any other questions to ourselves? Okay. Yes, go ahead. Yeah, thank you.
Can then we get an explanation why some of that property was sold without ministerial approval?
Oh, she's got more.
I can also answer that question as well. Prior to this, I think it was in 1995, there was a small sliver of that was closed because the house at that time, the back part of the house, did actually encroach onto the road allowance. So there was a bylaw that went through council to close a small sliver along the side of it to be consolidated in. It did get approval from the minister. I'm going to look at my numbers. It did happen in 95, and then nothing ever happened to it, and it finally got registered, I think, in 2012 or something like that. But it was a bylaw that was done quite a long time ago, and it did get approval from the minister for that. Because the
So
house.
someone built on the road allowance property? and we
Correct. The
needed
house,
to-
the back end of the house, a portion of it was encroaching, so they took a small sliver and closed a small sliver and consolidated into the parcel to allow for the house to not be encroaching into the road lines.
Okay.
Can we bring that map back up, the survey that I supplied? So if you look at the back of the house, we've got, yeah, it's very close, but I do believe when I talked to Mr. Sandro, it was because it's a septic tank. They had no room to put a septic tank at the back, and I do believe that's why it's sold.
So you could see that the road allowance used to come here, and it was this
Yeah.
small portion from
Yeah.
here and parallel to the lot.
Yeah,
That was
look at
goes-
the back, see
Yes.
where his septic tank is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
it
think
was
that's
this
why.
small portion that was to
Yeah.
make this lot compliant.
Yeah.
the way
Okay,
it is now.
we're talking about the same lot that was given years ago. It was sold, that sliver,
Yeah.
already. Okay.
Correct, yes.
So I guess we also already have ministerial approval to sell.
We did for that small portion, just that area there that was consolidated, to make
Years
the lot
ago.
compliant with the building that was on it.
Yes, go ahead.
So if we were to approve this today, it would come back as a a bylaw change and then a public hearing. That's correct, right? Which in that case would give, if there's anyone who has a concern, they're free to come and speak their mind at that point.
Through to the Reeve, to Deputy Reeve Crick, yes, it would come back. I guess the question is in terms of the work. If council is not going to move forward with this, moving it to a bylaw and into a public hearing is a significant amount of work. That's why it came to council before we went down that road, is if there's any flavor on council to actually sell that piece of land, then at least we know moving forward generally what may come of that. But you're absolutely right. The process now, if council decides they'd like to consider the sale of that piece of property, would be for the first reading of the bylaw to come and then a public hearing to be scheduled.
Yes, go ahead.
And then my other question was in regards to the price, how we came up with the 200 and, what was it, 200 and something thousand, and the other piece was sold at 2013, I can't remember what you said there for. that was
3,700.
3,700.
So that other.
In 2013, that was 2.25 meters
Yeah.
strip that was sold for $3,700, whatever the number was. This is actual, the price now is the assessed value of virtually a lake lot, waterfront property on the lake lot. So our assessors had gone out and looked at it and have assessed it with a value of that 205,000.
Okay. And then my other question is though, assessing it as the value of a lake lot, is there actually room on that to build a house with setbacks from the lake and property lines?
Yes, there would be a building envelope for a small cabin or something like that, which,
Okay.
when these lots were created, they were created not necessarily for full-time residences, but for small cabins, because they are a substandard lot.
It's very substandard now. I mean, you wouldn't meet too many, I don't know, maybe, yeah. But I still need access to the back of that. That's my issue also as well. So if you're gonna put a cabin on there, is that owner gonna let me back in there with a back truck to?
Well,
get
that
to
would
my
be the same
septic?
as your neighbor to the left doesn't have access to his backyard.
Yeah, he does from this front lot.
Yeah, from the front, correct,
From
yeah.
the front, yeah. I mean, it's a situation that is there, existing, and has been there for many, many years. So we have to be, live with what's on the plot, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, just was going to question, how close is that walking trail to that lot for snow removal, that sort of thing? Looks pretty close. Might almost be touching, is it?
No,
The walking
that
trail?
can vary, oh, that one, yeah, right there, yeah. But that line can move anywhere, really. If they need more room for snow removal, the black line on the right can move inwards.
So, no, I'm not sure if I understand that, though. Because you want to build a fence or whatever, you want to do whatever,
Yeah,
right? Then
like-
it's right next to our walking trail. Then they'd have a harder time with snow removal or anything else. I'm just not in favor of doing that.
I think we should, have more information and discuss this at the next committee of the
I'd
whole,
rather go
or
look too.
make a motion and go with whatever you think right now, right?
Well,
Yes,
I'll make a motion to table this, then we can discuss it more at the committee of the whole meeting.
May I ask what kind of information you'd like us to bring back?
Unfortunately, the motion is made to table. There can be no discussion at this point.
Sorry, that's.
There's nothing to table yet, Josh. We
Oh, I
haven't
see.
made a motion.
Good point.
You'd have to go with like 3. More information, this is kind of right at the spur of the moment here, so.
And
we'd like to-
there is like, he did present another option about having the spot for just down the road.
Mr. Reeve, we do have a motion to table on the floor.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Let's just vote on it.
All right, all those in favor? Opposed?
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Was there a specific date that you were wanting to table this to,
We
or
didn't.
just table it?
He said the next
Committee of the whole.
committee of the whole is what he said.
Yeah, I'd like to get the documentation to review as well.
Sorry?
I says I'd like to get some documentation as well, so I can review it.
Okay. That passed, that motion?
So, Mr. Reeve,
Sorry,
if we wouldn't table it, you'd have to either vote to approve or not approve then, right?
that's correct.
There's option 3.
Yeah,
But it's already been tabled.
yeah, so who made the motion to table?
Mr. Chair, my
Yes.
apologies. So the next committee of the whole is next week. I'm not sure if administration, if Lisa thinks that's enough time for her to gather whatever information you want her
There's no
to do.
hurry.
So could we go to the next one after that?
Yeah.
We could do February, yeah?
Just 1 second, sir.
Mr. Reeve, members of council, I don't think there'd be any more information than what was provided for council today. So I think I'll check with Ms. Folliott, but I don't see any reason why we couldn't come back on Tuesday next week to the committee of the whole. The information for next meeting will be identical to the information that was provided today. The maps, the lot block and plan, the recommendation, I don't believe any of that will change from an administrative perspective on whether it's committee of the whole on Tuesday or committee of the whole in February.
To make it fair, I'd like to have some time. I'd like to have a second opinion on value of the property. As a next-door landowner, if I put $205,000 for this lot, is that going to increase my value of my property that amount? We're businessmen. We're not gonna invest into something that's gonna not add value for what we pay for, right? You gotta make it fair, market value.
Okay, well, that's, if it doesn't go through, well, then you don't have to worry about
I
that
know.
as well, right? So we have to do the, the first thing first is,
Yeah.
we could make a motion here and can it and it's over.
Right.
But we're giving it a little bit of time for us to think about it.
Appreciate that.
So, so we'll bring it back next week and we'll talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Do I have enough time?
Well, more so for just, I'd like to go and walk it and
Sure.
take a look. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, who went there?
I think we're going to take a 5-minute break. Okay, I think we're going to take a half-an-hour break. Welcome back. I guess we're going to 9.2.3. They might not be here yet. And, yeah, and while we're waiting, I think Dana has a song now. Oh, she's here. Thank goodness. Good afternoon and Happy New Year.
Good afternoon. So today, our item today is the Clayton Bellamy Foundation for the Arts request for additional funding. At the December 12th regular meeting of council, the Clayton Bellamy Foundation for the Arts presented a request for additional funding from the MD towards the construction of their new Strathcona Performing Arts Centre project. Following the presentation, council requested administration to bring the request to a future meeting of council for deliberation and consideration. Earlier in 2023, in the summer, the MD approved funding to a maximum of $178,000 in matching dollars towards the construction of the Clayton Bellamy Foundation for the Arts' new Performing Arts Centre. The recognition offered and provided to the municipality for this level of contribution is as follows: a large plaque on the project's memorial wall, recognition on the foundation's website and social media, and the MD's logo placement on the project's entranceway monitors. As presented by the delegation just recently, the preliminary cost estimate for this project provided to them from the contracted architect was $1.4 million. However, following their construction tender process, the actual cost they have now been provided is $2.4 million. Therefore, the foundation is requesting additional funding from the MD as well as other supporting groups. They are also undertaking and creating more fundraising and sponsorship program opportunities and reapplying for the provincial CFET provincial grant. Attached for council's review is the supporting documentation provided by the foundation at their delegation on December 12th, Appendix A, B, and C. The reference to our strategic plan for this project is goal number 1, building a prosperous and sustainable community. As far as cost and source of funding, the foundation did not request a specific additional amount at their delegation. And just to confirm that council has approved a matching grant of $178,000. That was approved through the large stream of our community action grant policy. If council does choose to provide additional funding as far as source of funding options go, we do not have this identified for funding in our 24 operating budget. However, in the 24 operating budget, the line item for these types of requests is the council giving to industry and NGOs. That line item for 24 is $100,000. It is also used, however, for our multi-year donations that were previously committed to by council. Currently in 24, 59,000 of the 100,000 is already accounted for. Communication strategy, the delegation will be notified in writing of today's decision of council. Administration's recommended action is that council maintains financial support to the Clayton Bellamy Foundation for the Arts Strathcona Centre for the Performing Arts Project at a maximum value of $178,000 as previously approved. Other options are there for council as well.
Yeah, Mr. Reeve, I do have comments and maybe some source of funding. You know, it's a great cause, and other groups have come to us, you know, in the past for funding too, that they've had to come back to us for funding because projects go up in price. So I could mention some playgrounds that cost us a lot more than this, but I guess what I'll ask, the CAO wasn't here when we were discussing 28th of November council meeting. There was an Appendix E capital projects 9.2.2, and it had about 16 million carryover from projects that weren't done. So I would like to have somebody look at that capital projects list, and that was capital projects ending September. We hadn't finished like to the end of the year, so I'm not sure how much is left in that, but I just wonder if it's possible to take $100,000 out of a leftover capital project and put it toward this. And so I would make a motion to do that.
Thank you, Mr. Reeve, members of council. Just that capital would have been from the 2023 budget. That budget closed on the 31st of December. So the opportunity to take any money from that would be when the audited financial statement is completed and we know what there is or is not for surplus. But we could not go back in time to take money out of a 2023 budget to fund something in 2024 unless that motion had been made in 2023. And I'm getting the nod from Susan that I'm correct. So any money now, other than waiting until the surplus is, and then there will be surplus funds as we finalize the budget with the tax rate, then money could be applied from that surplus. But right now, to take money out of the 2023 budget to spend in 2024, we're no longer in 2023.
Okay, is there any way to do that at all though? Because the money, you know, I'm not sure. I guess, when are you saying we'll actually know though how much money was left in?
Well, we always find out as part of the audited financial process. So in reality, we'll have a handle on the surplus probably into late March, mid-April. And then council will be reviewing the mill rate bylaw probably last meeting in April or first meeting in May. So that is for sure when you would have. Council could make a motion to fund out of surplus if there is one, but we don't know what the surplus is going to be at this point. I'm assuming there will be one that would certainly probably be able to manage $100,000, but I can't say with any certainty what that amount would be at this point.
Yeah.
Did we?
Are you finished?
Oh, sorry.
For now?
Oh, I am for now. I guess.
Okay, yeah. Deputy Reeve, Crick?
Can the staff verify, did we, when we gave them $178,000 towards that project, did we specify that would be there was a hard cap on that, there wouldn't be any more funding coming towards it?
Through the
it might-
REEV, as part of the grant application process, any awards through the large stream cannot apply for any additional funding through that grant program specifically for 5 years.
However, that does not take away council's ability to provide money from any other pot
That
of
is
money that
correct.
council might have.
Right.
Yeah, Councillor Fadeev?
Yeah, great cause for sure. You know, they received 178 right away. We're we're the largest contributor with the smallest mention. Anyways, regards to other great causes that have come here and have been turned away, Stepping Stones has asked us for $500,000, and we said kindly no to them. I mean, they had a $2.5 million shortfall as well. So, I mean, I can't support giving additional money to this group while the other ones we're saying no to.
Thank you. Any other comments or someone like to make a motion? Yeah, go ahead.
Well, Councilor Swigan already made a motion, but
Yeah, he was kind of halfway through it though. Yeah.
regardless, it's, yeah, I think it's important, and I would have been in favor of more even, to be honest, but this is something that's been kind of on the people's minds since I've been on council 6 years now, and I think we're very close, so I have no issue supporting a motion to support, so that's my opinion.
Okay. Would you like to finish that motion now?
Yeah, I was kind of looking for some direction though, and if we can find a source for it, do we need to kind of extend this or, wait a few months, or can we actually make a motion now?
Thank you, Mr. Reeve. On through the Reeve to Councillor Swigert. Council has cash flow reserves. There are other reserves council could pull from that could be replenished with if there is a surplus in the spring. So because you can't use a 2023 funding source to fund for 2024 with a motion in 2024, that does not stop council from taking money out of any other pot reserve that's currently sitting there. If you wanted, you could certainly take it out of the cash flow reserve. You could take it out of any of the other unrestricted reserves if council wanted to go that route.
Yeah, Councillor
I don't think there's any harm in revisiting this in maybe April, May even, that they weren't in a big rush when they presented here last. So, I mean, if you want to wait and see what we look like and after the audits are in, then I think it's pretty easy to do as well.
So, Mr. Reeve, I'll just make a motion to bring this back to council at a more appropriate time.
Thank you, Councillor Swigert. Yes, if you just wanted to table the matter until the completion of the audited financial statement, that would certainly suffice.
Okay, so I'll make that motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Are we not going to vote on?
Well, isn't that, he's tabling it?
Oh, yeah, I'm opposed to table.
Okay, all those in
Don't we
favor?
vote with the computers anymore, or?
Well, when you table, well, I guess there's no discussion, you just vote with the computer. Sorry. You could give me the button there. Okay, I'll call for the vote.
I still think we should put money into the Cold Lake thing. Let's do it in April then. I mean, that's crazy. Holy shit, it's the only organization in the whole area that supports that. And they're not
Did we really have to table this, or could we have just brought it to a future meeting?
You could have brought it to a future meeting.
Okay,
Mr. Reeve, the motion could have just been to bring it back once the financial audited
Yeah.
statement is back,
okay,
correct?
good, we're already in the process.
It's the same.
Yeah.
I guess it's the same. Yeah, choose the same.
Well, what is Wallace say?
Well, unless it doesn't pass.
It could be
It's the same thing.
Yep.
I did.
Councillor Swigert. Man.
Nothing's coming up. This is the second time I've restarted it, so I'm in favor of it, of course.
Okay, that's carried, thank you.
Thank you.
On to 9.3.1.
Good afternoon, council. Happy New Year to everybody.
Hey, good afternoon to you, and Happy New Year to yourself.
Okay, this is for bylaw number 1851 to amend bylaw 1686, dividing assessment class 2 into subclasses. Administration is requesting a decision for second and third reading on bylaw 1851, amending bylaw 1686, dividing assessment class 2 non-residential into subclasses. This amendment proposes to amend business owners' declaration submissions from annual to a minimum of once every 3 years. The declaration is confirming the business's employee count for the purpose of qualifying for the small business subclass. The proposed amendment to the current bylaw will replace the existing Section 4 of bylaw 1686, requiring annual declarations by businesses to qualify for the small business classification, to a declaration occurring at minimum once every 3 years. Distribute the administrative resources needed to update the small business qualification list from annually to once every 3 years at minimum. Remove the annual requirement for business owners to annually declare the same information, and if a business misses the deadline, not qualify